LEGO Indiana Jones 1 is one of my favorite games, and I replayed its levels so much that I pretty much remember how most of them go by memory. So I thought it would be a good idea to rank each level, a top list if you will. So let's begin. It's kind of funny that I rank a level about freeing slaves so low. The thing is that I never really cared about this level, because it didn't stand out from the rest of the Temple of Doom levels, even though it had the conveyor belt boss battle. But you couldn't even go on the conveyor belt. Instead, you just had to throw dynamite from the distance. You also had to time them just right to damage the boss. This made the boss battle last a lot longer than it should have. The environment got boring after a while because it didn't really change during the level. Ranking these levels also made me realize how every level in this game is at least good. Some LEGO games have a couple of stinkers. The type of levels that you kinda just avoid. But then when you do play them after a long time, you rediscover all the things you forgot about the level, and that kinda makes it better. I like how it doesn't just jump into the bar fight right away. It lets you think that you're safe, and then as you open the main door, there they are! Like the previous level, there are also two bosses you need to beat. After the fight, the bar burns down, and you're greeted with a cold, dark winter scenery in the mountains of Nepal. How lovely. I like how you gotta blow up a lot of things in this level to advance, but for me a good LEGO Indiana Jones level has to take place somewhere interesting. And I guess you could say that about this level, but I just prefer the places we'll see later on. This might be a little bit surprising pick for many, even though there are a lot of things to like about this level, like how you gotta do puzzles while dodging missiles, or how at the end of the level you fight on a moving tank. I just found it hard to figure out where I stand on this level. There are things that in theory should make it superior to many others, like the fact that it's basically one long boss fight, but I'm just not feeling it. Even though this level has one of those moving vehicle fight sections, this also gets a low ranking on this list. The puzzles just feel too slow to do, like when you replay this level you really just want to get to the good stuff, but the game's like, do your chores first. Although I do appreciate how there's a lot of items and vehicles you get to try out. The boss battle with Enemy Boxer was interesting, it also involved blowing things up.
What?
And if you thought that was the level's peak, you then finish the level off fighting your way to the van that has the Ark and capturing it. The level starts off in this very cozy blimp. Unfortunately, you won't spend too much time there, before you escape and crash into a Turkish village. This is where you get attacked from the air, in the form of parachuting soldiers and bombs. This made the player be on their toes constantly.
What?
However, in the end you take revenge. How, you might ask? Birds. This might come off as a surprise to some, since this is a final level of the episode and those always just hit different compared to the rest. Main thing it could have improved upon is the length of the level. However, I think a lot of people like the fact that it doesn't take too long to reach the boss battle. Besides, if they added more puzzles, it would have felt like boring filler. Unless they would have added a part where you are in the ship before it was invaded by Nat soldiers. Maybe you could have had a fight with them and had to swim to the submarine. But I understand why they didn't do this. It would have been crazy to create an environment and whatnot for a short segment. I should mention something about the boss battle. Yeah, it was good, but there wasn't any dancing. Otherwise the level would have been in the top 3. This is the level with a lot of lava, some nice platforming and an interesting boss battle. So why is it ranked lower than most other levels? Well, I just wanna say that the competition has been tight, especially from here on out, and I just don't feel as excited to play this level anymore. As a kid, Temple of Doom was my favorite one, and I remember liking this level because no other level in this game had lava. It's a weird reason, but I used to be very intrigued by lava. Even back when I had LEGO Star Wars 2 on PlayStation 2, on free play you could access this room in the Sand Crawler. There was lava, and I was like, I should bring Ghost Obi-Wan and Ghost Anakin and reenact the Battle of Mustafar. There's also a boss battle, but so many levels have one that I don't even know if it's worth mentioning. Kinda sounds like a name of a LEGO Batman level, since Gotham City seems quite dangerous. However, this takes place in Cairo and it's an excellent level. I like the room where there are plenty of antennas and the Mos Eisley cantina. There's even one of those good old disco floor puzzles. This level has its highs and lows, literally. You first navigate through the seat. You first go through the streets while fighting all sorts of enemies, until you make your way to the roofs, where there is a breathtaking view awaiting for you. And the music, it all blends together to create a relaxing atmosphere. It just makes you wanna take a breather and pretend like India's actually on vacation. You also gotta do a little bit of platforming, and after that you come back down and you make your exit through the hordes of soldiers. And yeah, that's the level. This is of course the level where India and Salah find the Ark. What the hell? But then the Germans take it from you, but you're still in the pyramid. So you're back to where you started, literally. Except instead of Salah, you're with Marion. I really enjoy being in here. It just feels like it's full of history. What also differentiates it from other levels is that there are no human enemies. It's just spiders and snakes. It makes you feel deserted. There's also this replica of this ancient city. One day me and my brother were talking about this, and then we just went ahead and booted this game up and checked this place. Yeah, really nice level. Everyone can guess by the name of the level which level this is. It is, of course, one of the 2 vehicle levels in this game. I know many wouldn't specify it as one, since you can hop out of the vehicle and do a lot of things on foot, but you still spend a good chunk of the time driving. I'm just grateful that they didn't decide to make the type of vehicle levels we are all familiar with, even though every Indiana Jones movie had a fair amount of driving. I'm glad they saved that idea for the more experimental game that was the sequel, and didn't risk making this game less perfect. This level had this thrilling sequence where you gotta run, all the while the camera is right in front of you, so it's harder to see what obstacles are coming up next. I'm glad they made it this way, otherwise dodging and jumping over the obstacles would have been too easy. And also, it makes it more exciting when you can see the threat right behind you, in the middle of the screen, rather than in the bottom of your screen, for example. Playing it without music, however, makes it goofy, because the flood behind you makes the same sound as boiling water. The Indian Rocky Mountain setting is also one that I can appreciate, not to mention the boss battle, which is solid. The level begins in the lobby of this castle. After you had just assaulted Alfred, you make your way to the hallway. It's funny how the soldier is shooting rockets at you. Buddy, you're in a medieval castle, and your friends are right next to me. What are you doing? I guess the soldiers had heard stories about him and just wanted to take him out any means necessary. You also switch between being inside the castle and outside a few times, which gives the level a nice variety. Sometimes you play a level that takes place underground, and after that you want to do the opposite and play a level that takes place outside. This level scratches both of those itches, except you don't get to be in the nature. This level has an amazing atmosphere, and throughout the level you get to see all kinds of places. Like the place where you start with the restaurants and stuff, and then you go to the library, and I gotta say that it should be criminal for a library to be this cozy. One reason I think so is because there's almost like this fog in this room. After that, you go to the sewer. This place also gives a break from all the enemies and lets you figure things out without distractions. However, once you find the Sir Richard's tomb, the Brotherhood of Cruciform Sword attack once again. After that, there is a boss battle that boats have a big role in. You use it to chase and deal damage. In the last cutscene, they resolved their beef. What if they just talked things through instead of fighting? We could have prevented a lot of death. I just like the way the restaurant looks. The streets are somehow empty. This is one of the most populated cities in the world, even back then. And you mean to tell me there's no one here? The enemies in this level are part of the mafia and they look very distinguished. They also only appear in this level, which makes you appreciate them even more. The level itself is pretty nice. Like the City of Danger, this level feels quite relaxing to play, especially near the end as the airplane is coming together. It must be the relief I get from escaping this place. When I was younger, I didn't really care about this level, because I didn't like the beginning in the swamp. And honestly, neither do I right now. It's only once you get to the palace that it gets interesting. Also the fact that just going through the hallways of the palace just felt pleasant. Everything just looks so polished and homely. It seems like the people living here are very nice folk. Then, as you navigate through the palace, you find a secret room which takes you underground. Here you do a puzzle before going to the final room. Anyone who knows what's coming next will start to profusely sweat as their heartbeat gets faster. They take a deep breath and they go in. This is what you're greeted with. A suspicious room. Well, I better use Indy to open this door and finish the level.
Yes! Yes!
I just find it fascinating how this level starts here and ends here. This is the other level I think belongs to the vehicle level category. At the beginning you gotta do this slow puzzle, but I think it sort of works because it builds excitement. If this level went straight into the action, the moment you get to be in the minecart wouldn't feel nearly as special. What you need to do is to hit these levers to open the door and advance. If you miss a lever, another level that you previously activated can deactivate, which means that the game punishes you a little bit. I appreciate when this game starts to be challenging, and also because it gives you a reason to play this level longer. I still remember when I played this game for the first time. I was Satipo and the first thing I did was run to my death. The level itself is really unique compared to the other levels. The one level that I think gets closest to jungle vibe is the Banquet Palace. The level also nicely balances the amount of time you spend in the temple and out of the temple. Like the pacing of this level is immaculate. Not to mention the boulder run and all the interesting enemies and places. Even though the temple has traps and stuff, something about it just feels really welcoming. I wanna go there. I don't know whether it's the first level or this one that I replayed the most, but either way I have played this level so many times. They really succeeded at transforming that temple from the movie into a level. Honestly, some of the platforming wasn't even easy, and that's something you would never find in the newer games. I can even remember playing this level for the first time. The part where you got across the first invisible bridge confused us, because we hadn't seen the movie, so we didn't know there was a bridge, until my brother took a leap of faith. It's also nice to have the whole gang together at the same time, because you can't have that in any other level. Also, there is this specific area in the level that starts playing the breathtaking Holy Grail theme. This track is fire. I appreciate how they chose carefully when to play the tracks. For example, when you first have to go through the traps, the music is unnerving, but when you progress the music gets more grandiose. Almost as the player goes from terror to like respect towards the temple. And we also gotta talk about the last room, which is the one where you gotta find the Holy Grail. I wish I could erase that part of my memory that remembers where it was and what it looks like, because once you play this level once, you already know what to do in this part. Unless you forget. Alright, that's all of it. Let me know in the comments of your list, or if that seems too much, give your top 3. Anyways, that's all, see ya.